Hi guys, my name is Natalie Tillman and this is my capstone final presentation for our course of KIN 473 and it is dealing with intermediate fasting. So a little bit of introduction background. The purpose of this study was to determine the relationship between intermittent fasting and body composition. So really quickly, I'm just going to go over some definitions that we should know for this study. So intermittent fasting is a broad umbrella term for different eating patterns that consist of two different periods known as the eating period and the fasting period. With intermediate fasting, there are multiple programs that you can do. There's a 16 to 8 or an 18 to 6, which is basically that you're fasting for 16 hours and you have an eating period of 8 hours, or you have a fasting period of 18 hours and an eating period of 6 hours. There's another one, the 5 to 2, which is you fast for 2 days per week, a 24-hour fast that you do once or twice a week, fasting every other day, and also the warrior diet, which is known to fast during the day and only having one huge meal at night. Next, we have body composition, which is the percentage of fat, bone, water, and muscle that we find in the body. Body composition analysis can accurately show changes of fat mass, muscle mass, and body percentage. Next, we have the skin fold measurement, which is a method used to determine body fat percentage. The skin fold measurement is often used in the tricep area, the pec area, shoulder blades, waist, suprailiac, quadriceps, and calves. When you take a skin fold measurement, you usually want to take it 3 times within that one site, and you want to take it 15 seconds apart. And with those 3 measurements that you take, you want to take the average of those 3. So the issue is basically to address the connection between intermittent fasting for both male and female aerobic athletes. Current research does show that it's not really prevalent in athletes. Mostly it is only seen in the obese and overweight population. The effects of intermittent fasting on body composition for athletes can be successful in their sport. So some type of fasting can be utilized as a tool for athletes in weight restricting sports, such as gymnasts and wrestlers. For other sports, it can open up another option for athletes who struggle with maintaining their weight. Further research in order to provide significant evidence that could be used as a tool in the athletic population. Further research, like I said, or current research, like I said, is mostly done on overweight and obese individuals. So I think further research can help with other types of populations, not only the overweight and obese. And just to see what other effects intermediate fasting has on the human body, whether that's helping people get better sleep at night or just being a positive tool for an individual's lifestyle. So my research question is, how does intermediate fasting affect body composition in aerobic athletes? My hypothesis was aerobic athletes would have a decrease in body fat while participating in an intermediate fasting program. My dependent variable is body composition and independent variable is intermediate fasting. So for the methods, my subjects were both male and female, and I wanted a total of 25 subjects aging from the range of 17 to 23. They're coming from an aerobic sport found on CBU campus, such as basketball, soccer, and water polo. An email was sent out to the athletic teams in order to request volunteers for this study. The volunteered athletes were examined and interviewed prior to the study actually starting to make sure that none had current or prior eating disorders, and they were calculated that they were at a normal, healthy weight for their height and weight ratio to ensure that they are in a healthy state in order to participate in the study. Subjects were broken into 2 groups, one that participated in the intermediate fasting 18 to 6 protocol, which again, that's fasting for 18 hours and having an eating period of 6 hours, while the second group was just asked to continue their regular dietary intake. So the procedure was skin fold measurement in order to measure body composition. Check-in was on during week 2, 4, and 6, and we took measurements in the tricep, shoulder blade, and waist area. Each site measurement would be taken twice within 15 seconds apart, and when they did come for check-in days, it would be taken on the third day of training after exercise was completed. As you can see, it was a 6-week program. They participated in an aerobic exercise program that consisted of 40 minutes of cycling that came out to 3 days a week, which in total was which came out to 18 training sessions. Participants would perform a warm-up, then jump into that 40-minute cycling program, and then a cool down. Participants were also asked to record their daily food and beverage consumption using MyFitnessPal, and a 24-hour recall would be used to check in with the athletes on Monday, Wednesday, Friday to make sure that the athletes are doing well and following their specific diet that they were asked to follow. Subjects were asked to participate in a 10-minute warm-up that includes dynamic and static stretching in order to get the heart rate and body ready for exercise. During the cycling program, athletes' goal was to reach a 60% maximum of their heart rate. The cycling program consists of variations of intense and quick cycling sprints for 1 minute every 10 minutes in order to get participants' pulse rate at its maximum. Followed by that was a 10-minute cooldown, which included a 5-minute jog and static stretching. And at the subjects were only asked to miss 2 total days of training. So for the discussion, I ran a regression and a t-test. As you can see, my regression, my p-value came out to 0.01 with the alpha level being 0.05. Therefore, you can see that the prediction had a significant difference between the pre and post testing with the experimental group. Again, the experimental group is the group that had the 18 to 16 fasting protocol. The t-test, the experimental group had an average of 4 millimeter skin fold decrease, which showed evidence of the p-value being equaling to 0.0, showing statistical significance. And the control group, which is the group that had to stick to their respective regular dietary intake, had an average of 1.2 millimeter skin fold decrease and an evidence of p-value equaling 0.38, which is greater than our alpha level of 0.05, which demonstrated that there was no statistical significance. So for future research, like I said in the beginning, it's still pretty much a gray area in the athletic population. So of course there should be more research ongoing for the different populations, just trying to see how more convenient intermittent fasting can be for that overweight and obese population, as well as athletes, as well as people who are at a healthy weight and wanting to maybe gain this physique that they've been working towards, and also to investigate other types of fasting that can become critical to athletes. Again, I mentioned in the beginning there's multiple fasting protocols that you can follow, so maybe having research in which specific model or protocol of fasting can be beneficial to athletes, and then potential to use intermittent fasting as a mechanism for nutrition in athletes. As we know, at the collegiate level, athletes, depending on the college, but most of the time they are given a nutritional dietary intake, how many calories they should be consuming, how many carbohydrates, protein, fats, etc., etc. So maybe seeing if fasting can become a utilized tool for athletes in order to maintain their healthy body weight for their respective sport, whether that's weight restricted sports such as wrestling or gymnast, or just overall the athletic population in aerobic sports such as in this study, which was basketball, soccer, and water polo. So this was my research for our course for KIN 473, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching.